Hi guys, Rick Cain here, St. Augustine Lighthouse and Maritime Museum Safety Officer and Director of Museum Services. In a prior life, past 20 years before I came to the Lighthouse, I was a registered nurse and worked in coronary intensive care and emergency room and a bunch of different areas and specialties. And so we're going to talk about personal protective equipment today, primarily gloves and masks. And I am quarantined at home because I'm a bit elderly now, so we're doing this in my backyard. I thought it'd be a little more pleasant for everyone. In medicine, they teach you to think of everything as contaminated. It's not to make you paranoid, but it's to keep you situationally aware of what contaminants can come into contact with you or a patient. And so at the Lighthouse, we use gloves when we're cleaning, and particularly now during the COVID crisis. And there's a proper way to remove these gloves. Now, everybody can get them put on, I hope, correctly. So I have a pair of gloves on, and they're supposed to be pulled all the way up your wrists. And I've been working with these gloves and cleaning toilets and cleaning exhibits, and now I have to assume that all the surfaces of these gloves are contaminated. So I don't want to touch my face. I don't want to touch my clothes. I don't want to reach into my purse or my pocket and get out my phone while I'm wearing the gloves, because now I've just contaminated the phone and the inside of my pocket. If I put my bare hand in there later, I could contaminate my hand, then I scratch my nose, now I'm sick. So I also don't want to transfer any germs to someone else by touching things they might be using with contaminated gloves. So we want to remove them correctly. This is my dominant hand, I'm right-handed. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab the left hand glove down here at the cuff. Now notice I'm not going to touch my skin. I'm just grabbing the glove, and I'm going to turn it inside out as I take it off. So the contaminated outside of the glove goes inside, and now I'm just going to, yeah, I'm sweaty. I'm just going to wrap that contaminated glove up in the other glove, okay? Now I'm going to slip my fingers underneath the cuff here of the other glove, so I'm not touching the outside contaminants, and I'm just going to turn it inside out and take it off. Now both gloves are inside out, and I can drop them in the trash. That's done. So that's the proper way to take off gloves. Still, I've got to wash my hands. You got to go scrub your hands for 20 seconds minimum. Okay, so it's hot soapy water, lots of scrubbing, wash each finger, scratch your palms to get soap up underneath your fingernails, and then rinse really well and dry, and that's done. And you really need to do that frequently, particularly during this COVID outbreak, and that'll just help protect you and your family and loved ones, significant others, okay, as well as our visitors at the Lighthouse. Next, we have masks. Now, we've got these wonderful cloth masks that everyone has, and they're branded, and they have tie strings. These are not the types of masks that are supposed to be sterile. We don't need those. Those are being reserved for the hospital workers. But this is 2-ply cotton. Now, single-ply cotton is pretty much worthless. This is not supposed to be sterile. What this is a droplet catcher. And germs travel in droplets. So I think everybody's seen the videos when people sneeze or cough, how far their droplets will spread into a room. And so this is a droplet catcher is all it is. And 2-ply cotton that's very densely woven does a very effective job of stopping your droplets from transferring to someone else if you cough or sneeze, and stopping their droplets from coming into your respiratory tract if they cough or sneeze. The correct way to wear this is handle it by the strings, okay? We got to consider that the outside surface is the contaminated surface, okay? So you start at the bridge of the nose, put your mask on, put the strings up over the tops of your ears, and tie the mask at the crown of the head. If I can get it tied. That's halfway. Now, some of you are leaving the bottom untied so that it's easier to breathe. If you're outside working, this just allows everything to come right up under the bottom of the mask, and it's pretty much worthless for any kind of protection. So you have to wear the mask correctly if you want it to provide the protection that you need, or if you want to, say you contracted COVID, you have no symptoms, you never get really sick, but it's going to keep you from transmitting it to our guests or a coworker. So the second half, stretch the mask down to the neck, go around the base of the neck, tie the second set of strings, and then adjust it at the sides. If I can find the string, okay? So I want to make sure that it's completely down here up against my neck. I want to make sure it's high on the bridge of my nose, and it's fairly snug against my cheeks. And now I'm wearing the mask properly, although I don't think I got it tied at the bottom correctly. So this is the way to wear your mask. Now, I've seen a few other things happening. Some people, when they get to their desk, they're dropping it down like this and letting it sit. Where did we say the contaminated surface was? It's right here on the outside of the mask. Now, this is sitting at your chin, and you're very likely to inhale any germs that might be on the surface of it. So you've just ruined whatever level of protection that you might have had. So a better option is to remove it completely and set it down. Again, just handle it by the strings. If you're done for the day, this is machine washable, and you can tumble dry. If it gets a little bit shrunk, you can stretch it back into shape. But when I head home, I take off my mask and I put it in the dash of my truck, because that bright sun and the heat will kill germs. We're fortunate to live in the Sunshine State where that's the case. So if you just take this off and set it in the sun for a while, if it's still sunny on your drive home, don't touch the surface for a while, let it sit in the sun. If you do touch the surface, don't panic, that's fine. Just don't touch your face, and go directly, once you get this taken care of, and scrub your hands with soap and water. Okay, so those are the principles of staying clean and protected. I hope you are all well and good, and we'll see you next time at the Lighthouse.